so we'll do it.
I know, this is my fear that we'd be playing this sheet, and here we are. So, I know, because the end, the glass is so shitty too, it's hard to see all the way down. And actually, this is new glass versus 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was horrible. This ice has been sitting for at least 10 minutes. Oh, yeah.
At least they did that because that game after, it's like, right. They're trying to warm up, they can't pass.
The rest came in and said, hey, 410 at the release. So yeah, you have to sign up. So I talked to Johnny at Brooke.com. So yeah, and it's a 10 by 10. First and third periods, I might move down to that corner so our better players on the offensive zone. Yeah, I asked if I'd go upstairs. No. What upstairs? I don't know, they said offices and private space up there, so.
This string looks pretty. It looks way better than what it was before.
Better than Wild Ones are in
That's pretty much the best seat in the house anyway.
Good afternoon, Team Colorado families. Welcome to the absolute worst rink to broadcast from ever. We're at the Hazel Park Arena on the pro side, and this is going to be about the best angle we can get. So bear with me. I might jump back and forth between two corners just to catch our offensive zone action a little bit better. But welcome to the consolation game for Team Colorado against the Rochester Jr. Americans. Team Colorado coming off a tough loss to the BK Selects, kicking us into the consolation bracket. This will be the fourth and final game here for Team Colorado at the Detroit Motor City Girls Fest. TC starting with Masiello, Brennick, and Deckers up front. Egan and Huang on the points, and Samora set between the pipes. First period action underway. TC takes possession back in their own end. Rochester collects the loose puck, dumped out to center. Now kick back out to center once more. Rochester regrouping back inside their own zone. Pass picked up by Masiello. She's moving back into the Rochester zone. Tied up along the near side board here. Hard to see along this far end. Tied up back behind the net now. Masiello trying to work it free. Rochester comes away with it. Breaking out over on the far side. Egan watching that one, keeping it to the outside as they move into the TC zone. Rochester on the change all alone in the offensive zone now. Picked up pass off the skate of Wong. Collected by Egan. Egan backs up back behind the net once more. So looking for a short pass, finds Chopfix Chase. Chopfix Chase now moving through center. Trying to chip it off the boards. No glass there. Goes right into the TC bench for a stoppage in play. Face-off will be just outside the Team Colorado zone, right in front of their bench. Walsh, Mainwaring, Chopfix Chase, Pugh, and Riedlinger for Team Colorado. Rochester wins that face-off. Trying to push it into the TC zone. Walsh and Chopfix Chase collide out at center ice. Rochester will pick up the loose puck, regrouping back inside their own zone. Now back behind their net, looking for a pass on the middle, picked off there by TC, but couldn't quite keep a handle on the first shot. Rochester now back on the move into the TC zone. Pugh chasing it down here in the near side corner, back behind Samora. Taken down on the play, delayed penalty call here against Rochester. Pugh back up on her feet, and whistle blows. Rochester will head to the box for a body checking penalty.
But she's skating fast. She knows what she did.
Yeah. That wasn't the look of shame at all, right? 13:09 left to go in the first period.
God, I almost wonder what doing in the penalty box here, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Something more centered. Face-off will be in the Rochester end to the right of their goaltender. Kelly, Walsh, Pugh, Visa, Chopfix Chase, 14 Colorado power play unit. Visa feeds it to Pugh, back up top to Visa. Emily Visa across to Pugh. Pugh with a one-timer in on net, save made by the Rochester goaltender. Rebound opportunity cleared now by Rochester back into the TC zone. Icing waved off. They're looking to end this game
could
early,
get to
huh?
that. No player could get to that.
Pugh with it in the TC zone. Pressure from the Rochester penalty killers. Pass across to Chopfix Chase. Moving it through center. Taken there by the Junior Americans. Pugh will have to back it up into the TC zone. 45 seconds gone in the penalty to Rochester. Visa now, short pass up to Pugh. Cross-ice pass hits Chopfix Chase, tipped into the Rochester zone. Chopfix Chase on the move with the forecheck. Rochester cleanly comes out from behind their net, moving through center. Stood up at the line by Pugh. Rochester still with possession. They'll try to chip it into the TC zone, take it by Huang. Now cleared out to center. Rochester looking for some speed. Stopped there at the blue line. Rochester were in control here on their own penalty kill. Team Colorado, not much offensive zone time in their first power play of the game. Rochester back to full strength. Stopped there just outside the TC blue line. Long trying to move that up the far side board. Now Masiello trying to chip that up. Huang now with it just inside the TC zone. Short pass up to Bella Choi. Through center into the Rochester zone on the left side. Shot fired. Leg pad save made. Kicked over to the near side corner. Now Rochester scooping up the loose puck over the far side board. Moving through center. Chipped into the TC zone. Egan back to grab it for Team Colorado. Pass picked off there by Rochester. Peels out from the side. Shot. Save made by Samora. Rebound cleared by Team Colorado. And now Walsh with some speed through center. Has Brennick. Brennick looking for in front of the net. Couldn't quite connect on the pass. Rochester clears it over to the near side corner. Rochester comes away with it out to center. Working into the TC zone. Visa trying to keep that push to the outside. Rochester on the change. Waiting for some reinforcements. Now still in control. Rochester back behind Samora. Good stick there by Emily Visa. Trying to poke it through the corner. Walsh got away with a little sneaky trip there. Now Rochester still with control behind Samora. Comes out. Stolen there by Brennick. Brennick trying to get through the Rochester player. Quick transition right back into the TC zone. Rican will pick it up in the corner for Team Colorado. Sends it back to Visa behind Samora. Stolen there by Rochester. Now regained by Sherman. Sherman working out to center, dumps it down into the Rochester zone. Kelly will get there first on the forecheck. Pitch shot back behind the Rochester net. They'll scoop up the loose puck. Rochester on the move through center. Back into the TC zone. They'll pick up the free. And Rican's going to get the gate as she knocked the stick out of the hands of the Junior Americans player. She'll pay Mr. Samora a visit in the penalty box, putting Rochester on their first power play of the game. Interference the call. 9:26 left to go in the first period. Face off to the right of Samora, deep in the TC zone. Kelly with the draw. Riedlinger and Pugh, along with Sherman on the penalty kill. Rochester with the face-off win, but they got to back it up out to center. Right back in here on the near side. Good block there by Pugh, keeping Rochester to the outside. They'll trade places, come back to the near side corner. Drop pass there, working out from the sharp angle. Shot and a save there by Samora. Rochester moves it back up top to the right side point. They'll work it across to the left. Plenty of puck movement here for Rochester on their power play. Now connecting a pass in the slot. Picked off there by Riedlinger. She'll get it out to center. Trying to chip it low in the Rochester zone. Now a long pass off the mark for Rochester. Floats back into the TC zone. Pugh scoops it up for Team Colorado. And Wiedemeyer trying to feed it to Mainwaring. Pass blocked. Now once more, another pass picked up by Rochester. Right in the slot. Couldn't keep a handle on it though. TC stays out of trouble. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty kill for Team Colorado. Pass sent across the slot. No stick there for Rochester. They still maintain possession back behind the net. Peeling out from the left side. And all traffic blocks that shot attempt. Now back in the corner. Riedlinger grabs it for Team Colorado. Rochester gains back control. Wiedemeyer. Team Colorado back to full strength. Now pass chipped out to center through everyone, and icing waved off here. You rule that touch by Rochester on this end? Okay.
I think that girl let up and they figured she could make it. I guess that's the only...
Shot from the right side, blocked there by Meredith Egan. Now tied up over on the far side board. Pass up top for the Rochester Junior Americans. Deflected just out front wide. Now Choi regains the puck in the TC zone, tied up on the far side board. Looking to feed one to Masiello, picked off there by Rochester. Wong feeds it back behind the net for Egan. Pass up for Wiedemeyer. Across for Choi. Crossing the red line into the Rochester zone on the left side. Turns it, looking for a pass out to Masiello. Couldn't quite connect on that. Rochester back out to center. Back down into the TC zone. Huang scoops it up back behind the TC net. Another pass picked off by Rochester. Shot blocked out front. Team Colorado a little bit sloppy play in front of their own net. Masiello dumps that down the length of the ice. This one will be icing. 6:30 left to go here in the first period. We are still scoreless. Both teams successfully killing off penalties. We are back 5-on-5. Past the midpoint of the first period. Face-off will be to the left of Samora, deep in the TC zone. Walsh settling in for the draw. Chocolate's chasing Mainwaring on the wings. Visa and Rican on the blue line. Rican, nice little dance move. Gets past the Rochester player. Feeds a pass over to Chocolate's chase. Looking cross eyes for Mainwaring. Couldn't quite get it through the traffic. Chocolate's chase back into the Rochester zone. Peeling towards the slot. Shot fired. Save made by the Rochester goaltender. They'll clear out to center. That'll float down into the TC zone for an icing call. Face-off will be in the Rochester zone to the left of their puck stopper. Walsh in for the draw. Chotvik's chasing Mainwaring still on the wings. Visa and Rican on the blue line. Rochester with the face-off way back into their corner. They'll feed it over to the far side. Looking for the pass up on the far side board. Now cleared out to center. Rochester back into the TC zone. Walsh powers that one into the boards. Visa feeds it back up the strong side to Rican. Rican creates some space back behind the net. Drops it for Visa. Emily Visa. Short pass to Walsh. Walsh feeds it to Chocolate Chase. 2-on-1 here. Chocolate Chase and Mainwaring. Shot fired. Got a stick on that. Couldn't get everything on it for Maya Chocolate Chase. Rochester able to clear. Now they're back through center into the TC zone on the far side. They'll settle for a dump in. Rochester on the change, giving TC some room on the breakout. Riedlinger looking for the pass out to Kelly off the mark. Another icing call will bring a face-off back down into the TC zone. Face-off to the right of Samora. Brennick, Kelly, and Deckers now for Team Colorado. Riedlinger and Pugh on the back end. Pugh sends it around to the far side board for Deckers. Trapped up against the boards. Puck squirts loose. Rochester almost got a stick on that. Deckers recovers, sends it around to Brennick. Brennick pinched off in the corner. Now gets some help from Pugh. Two Rochester players battling Pugh and Brennick. Back up top to the left side point for Rochester. Shot off the mark. Deckers didn't quite get there first on that sideboard battle. Now Kelly feeds a pass to Deckers. Deckers hits Brennick out at center ice. Good collection of that pass there by Piper Brennick. Shot fired, couldn't quite get that through the legs of the Rochester defense. And now Rochester on the move through center into the TC zone on the far side. Tried to feed it through both defenders. Couldn't quite get a good play there by Pugh to pick that up. Brennick hits Masiello out at center. Masiello working through, gets around one, poked that one through. Save made by the Rochester goaltender. Now short pass for Masiello, right back in. Wiedenmeyer trying to weave her way through. Egan going to send that down deep into the Rochester zone. Wiedenmeyer collects it back behind the net, takes a hit. Just a little side swipe there from the Rochester player. Egan now fires one from the right side point, goes wide right. Rochester trying to clear, kept in by Huang, now pokes that out to center. Wiedenmeyer turns that right back around. Tries to slide one through the Rochester defender's skates, got the puck through, but couldn't get herself through. Now Sherman in control in the near side for Team Colorado. Picked off there by Rochester. They'll move it back out to center. Egan trying to collect that at center. Couldn't quite get it down. He's sent in on Samora. Kelly picks it up for Team Colorado. That's Huang. Gets it up to Wiedenmeyer. Wiedenmeyer's pass deflected by Rochester. They'll get back into the TC zone here on the near side. Sent towards the net. Samora pushes that off into the corner. Now collected by Choi. Choi throws the pass across the middle. Nobody there for TC, giving Team Colorado a chance for fresh legs. Rochester with the regroup back inside their own zone. Quick pass up here on the near side, back into the TC zone. Choi trying to collect that, gets some help from Huang. Tied up over on that far side board. I don't. Just like cloth tape, something like that? Yeah, I just go fish through some of the bag. Look in Corinne's bag and or Howie's bag. She's got cloth tape. Same stuff. Choi picks it up over on the far side board. Sang-Chong Pupin looking to pick up that loose puck, couldn't quite get there. Now Rochester back into the TC zone on the right side. Pinched off there by Huang. Egan will scoop it up back behind Samora. Looking for the pass up to Sang-Chong Pupin, couldn't quite get it, now off the mark. Rochester will collect that out at center. DDB regroup just outside their zone. Pass picked off there by Huang. Trying to backhand one into the Rochester zone, stopped out at center. Now back on the move into the TC zone we go. Egan turns it back up the strong side, finds Mainwaring. Mainwaring now, cross ice for Chocolate Chase. Almost got through that Rochester player, but stopped out at the blue line. TC will do another entry back into the Rochester zone. Pass into the skates of Mainwaring. She'll dump it down deep into the Rochester end. Now stop short in the corner. Mainwaring digging away for it. Get some help from Masiello. Or that was Chopin's chase. I'm sorry, that's Deckers out there. I can't see that far end. Visa, shot, pass attempt, picked off by Rochester. Back into the TC zone here on the near side. Cutting towards the middle. Good stick by Reagan. Reekin breaks up that advance. Mainwaring pushes that back to Reekin. Gets some help from Visa. Visa now creating some space. Moving through center. Gets into the Rochester zone. Now fires one in on net right in the red basket of the Rochester goaltender and held for the whistle. 36.5 seconds remaining here in the first period. Faceoff will be in the Rochester zone to the left of their goaltender, Walsh, with Wiedenmeyer and Sherman to finish off this first period. Reekin and Visa. On pass for, that's Brennick out there, Brennick and Deckers. Now right into the slot, Rochester fires one, beats Zamora on the short blocker side. And Rochester will take the lead with just 17.1 seconds left to go here in the first period. Face off back out of center after the Rochester goal. Riedlinger collects it back inside the TC zone. She'll back it up behind Samora. Sends it back up the strong side for Finley Sherman. Back to Riedlinger. Pass over to the sideboard off the mark. Wiedenmeyer trying to block that shot attempt. And that'll do it for the first period. Rochester with the game's sole marker in the first. They'll take a 1-0 lead into the second.
I'm not sure what happened to Lila, but it's like they were asking for tape and ice for a finger or something like that. So,
You should block a shot or something.
yeah, I don't know, was that or jammed somehow?
Are they able to go off of it?
No, I don't think that.
Only one visitor so far. It is. Let's not try to fill it.
It's just like, I just don't get like it's players wise, like we get someone drifting down here, like there's nowhere to cover either.
We're watching the puck all the time. We're not watching for loose bodies. Both teams ready to start the second period. Rochester with a 1-0 lead on the late goal in the first period. Kelly, Sherman, and Wiedenmeyer to start the second. Riedlinger and Pugh. Samora back between the pipes. Second period, here we go. Kelly wins that across to Riedlinger. She'll gain the red line, dumps it down deep into the Rochester zone. Rochester breaking out on the far side through center. Back into the TC zone. Good stick there by Riedlinger, forces the play back into the corner. Hard collision back there behind the net. Kelly pinched off as well too. Riedlinger now comes away with it, finds Wiedenmeyer. B. Wiedenmeyer has room over on the far side into the Rochester zone, gets around one, get that shot off. B back up top for Pugh. Pugh looking for the shooting lane, tried to feed that back down low for Wiedenmeyer. Trying to chip one out front. Sherman collects it. She'll send it back over. Delayed penalty call against Rochester coming up. Wiedemeyer with control over on that far side board. Now to Kelly. Kelly trying to bounce out around the linesman. Right in on net, save made, and whistle goes. We will get the call. Looks to be hooking on Rochester. That'll put Team Colorado back on the power play here to start the second period. Faceoff will be deep in the Rochester zone to the left of their puck stopper. Kelly, Walsh, Chotvics Chase, Pugh, and Visa. Power play unit for Team Colorado. Kelly with the faceoff. Rochester wins that back to their corner. Sent back off the far side board. Visa keeps that alive. Visa looking for it in the shooting lane. Fires one through, hits a body. Deflected off into the corner. Now Walsh feeds it back up to Visa. Emily Visa back to Chotvics Chase. Chotvics Chase pass deflected out and down the length of the ice. Samora comes out, stops that for Visa. She'll stop up back behind the TC net. Looking for some speed. Visa reverses it back to Pugh. Rochester with pressure on their penalty kill. Forcing TC to waste time in their own zone. Now Visa finds a lane. Picks up some speed through center. Into the Rochester end from the right side. Visa back behind the Rochester net. Stolen there by Rochester. Walsh trying to force them off the puck. Cleared out down the length of the ice. Icing waved off. Kelly collides with a Rochester player down in the corner. Now pass connected for Chotvics Chase. Couldn't get through. Backs up there by Pugh. Selena Pugh making her way into the Rochester zone. Get some help from Chotvics Chase there. Back behind the net. Rochester able to get it out to center. Moving into the TC zone here on the right side. Rochester now back to full strength. TC unable to capitalize on their second power play. Now Walsh trying to poke that up the far side board. Brennan couldn't quite get a handle on it. Now late trailer defenseman scramble out front. Loose puck. Save made by Samora, and she'll hold on for the whistle. Just bump this over a little bit more. There we go. We get the small viewing glass to Samora. Face-off will be deep in the TC end to the right of Samora. Won by Rochester, back up top to their point. Shot in on net, save made, turned aside by Samora. Brent Deckers out, 14 Colorado. Egan feeds a pass up to Masiello. Masiello working her way into the Rochester zone, couldn't get a pass that last defender. Now here on the near side board, Deckers has it trapped up, getting some help from Brennick. Masiello comes in, leaves a short one for Kwong. Now Masiello has to back it up out to center. Across for Egan. Egan chips one down deep into the Rochester zone. Deckers couldn't get that trapped up back behind the net. Now across. Brennick in a foot race for the puck. Rochester gets there first. Right in front of the TC bench. Kelly picks it up, feeds it back to Egan. Can't quite get that out. That was Brennick now dumping it down into the Rochester zone. Kelly in pursuit on the forecheck. Sent off the far side glass, trapped up there by Egan. Now Choi couldn't quite keep that inside the zone, offside the call. 11:05 left to go here in the second period. Rochester sitting on a 1-0 lead currently over Team Colorado. Kelly, Choi, and Sang-Chong Pupin for Team Colorado. Rochester with a quick face-off win, pushing back into the TC zone. Rieken pinches that off right there on the glass. Here on the near side, Pisa now with control of the puck. Moving through center, back into the TC zone here on the left side. Cutting towards the net, looking for the pass across, had Choi, just couldn't quite connect. Now Rieken fires one from the right side. Glove save made by Rochester and held for the whistle. Face off to the left of the Rochester goaltender. Walsh, Mainwaring, and Chotvics Chase for Team Colorado. Rochester with the face-off win. Off the boards, down into the TC end. Zamora will come out and make a save to hold on for the whistle. Face-off will be to the right of Zamora. Walsh with the face-off. One by Rochester. Mainwaring pokes that free now on the move. Mainwaring's got some room. Trying to feed it across the shot fix. Chase couldn't quite complete the pass. Rochester gets back in time and thwarts that advance by TC. They'll send it down the length of the ice. Icing waved off here. Visa collects it back behind the TC goal line. Finds some room. Long pass up to Mainwaring. Into the Rochester zone on the right side. Mainwaring settles for a shot. Big rebound there. Shot fix Chase just on her backhand. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. Now Rochester back on the move into the TC zone from the left side. Shot fired up high over the net into the glass. On the near side. Rochester picked off there by Mainwaring. Trying to shovel a pass up to Chafix Chase. Couldn't connect. Walsh muscles the Rochester player off the puck. Emily Visa collects it back behind the TC net. Now Rieken trying to weave her way through several players. Takes a spill. Rochester gains back control here on the near side. Back behind the net, Rieken looking for it again. Gets some help from Walsh. Chipped up off the glass, kept inside the TC zone. Rieken collects it back behind the TC goal line, sends it back up the strong side for Mainwaring. Trying to chip that back out of the zone. Mainwaring chopping away at it, trying to clear the zone. And now finally, Walsh gets it back into the Rochester zone. TC going for the change. Long pass for Rochester. Visa collects that back in the corner, sends it for Rieken's pass off the mark. Rochester with a quick shot, save made by Zamora. Rebound deflected wide of the net. Now Rieken back behind Zamora. Masiello could quite get a handle on that. And now Wiedmeyer trying to push her way through the two Rochester players. Get some help now. Sherman drops it back to Visa. She'll take it back behind some more, looking for some room. Pass for Sherman off the mark, and icing will be the call. Clock's running. Face off to the right of Samora. Masiello with the face-off. Sherman trying to block that shot. Now up top of the left side point for Rochester. Shot sent wide. Rochester with it back behind the TC net. Pugh trying to block that pass back up top of the left side point. Now there's a good block. Wiedmeyer punches that back out to center on the shot block. Back into the TC zone. Riedlinger takes it back behind Samora, feeds it back up the strong side for Sherman. Sherman's pass blocked. Rochester back in possession inside the TC zone. Now pass up to Wiedmeyer. She'll glove it down. Back into the Rochester zone. Wiedmeyer fires a shot in on net. Turned aside there by the Rochester goaltender. Pass out to center for Rochester. Stopped there by Pugh. Kelly collects that one. Feeds it up to Brennick. Piper Brennick back into the Rochester zone. Backhands one towards the net. And got trapped up in the netting on the backside. And we'll have a whistle. Faceoff will be deep inside the Rochester zone to the right of their puck stopper. Kelly with the faceoff. Brennick and Deckers on the wings. Riedlinger and Pugh. Rochester with control off the faceoff. Moving up the far side board. Stopped there by Pugh. Get some help from Deckers. Shot attempted by Kelly. Now right out in front. Brennan couldn't quite get enough on that to get that through. Rochester back to center. Heavy collision for Deckers with the Rochester player right in front of the timekeeper's box. TC trying to clear the zone. Rochester takes that one back. Shot blocked there by Q. Sent across to Riedlinger. Collected by Deckers. She'll bounce that off the sideboard. Rochester collects that back in their own end. Deckers pestering on the play, trying to get that towards the net. Deckers will get that back in the corner, sent back up top for Riedlinger. She'll send it back down deep to Deckers. Brennick steps in, lends a hand. Rochester goaltender will gobble that up, and she'll hold on for the whistle. 5:45 left to go in the second period. Still 1-0 in favor of Rochester. Troy Walsh and Sang-Chong Pupin for TC now. Huang and Egan back on the blue line. Walsh with the face-off. Rochester sends that back to their corner. Now Rochester moving out to center, getting past Huang. Egan scoops it up inside the TC zone. Deflected off the boards, and icing will be the call. Face off down in the TC zone to the left of Samora, tied up off the dot. Masiello comes away with it. Troy tripped up on the play. That was Walsh, not Masiello, my fault. Cleared out to center. Deckers on a foot race. Both players blow right past that puck. Rochester will collect it back through center. Into the TC zone on the left side. In on net. Big rebound and scores. Another fair trailing coverage.
Yeah.
Rochester with the initial shot takes advantage of the rebound. And they tuck home their second goal here in the second period. Now leading 2-0 with 5 minutes left. In the second, Masiello, Chotvik's chase, and Mainwaring. Rochester will take that face-off win right into the TC zone here on the near side. Pass across, picked off there by Chotvik's chase. Has the puck stripped though. Lisa trying to collect it back behind Samora. Tied up, Rieken. Trying to help on that one. Still tied up back behind the net. Now puck finally comes free. Pass up to Mainwaring. Oh, so that's not Mainwaring. Wiedmeyer. Wiedmeyer with it in the far side corner. Comes out in the high slot. Looking for the shot. Backhand pass. Couldn't quite connect. Rochester able to clear. Chotvik's chase with it now. Back behind the Rochester net. Sent back up for Rieken. Rieken shovels one towards the net. Now connected with Wiedmeyer. Couldn't get a shot off. Right and back in front. No stick for TC. Could corral that one. And Rochester clears and will take the icing call as TC was putting on the pressure deep in the Rochester zone. Kelly, Mainwaring, and Sherman now. 14 Colorado, Rieken and Visa on the blue line. Kelly with a face-off. Rochester sends that back behind their goal line. Kelly trying to beat him to that loose puck. Now trapped up on the near side board. Rochester comes away with it. Kelly trying to pick the pocket of the Rochester player. Couldn't quite get that one free. Visa now collects it back inside the TC zone. Pass up for Kelly. Moves it to Sherman. Deflected there by Rochester player. Rieken steps in, dumps it down deep into the Rochester zone. Rochester will send a pass up the far side board. Now picked off there by Kelly. Trying to poke that free. Rochester will collect it once more. Back for Rieken on the regroup. Long pass off the mark, picked off there by Rochester. Back into the TC zone, shot from the left side. Glove save made by Samora and held for the whistle.
Right.
3 minutes even left to go here in the second frame. Rochester with a 2-0 lead. Face off to the right of Samora. Walsh on the face-off. Riedlinger steps in, picks up the loose puck, feeds it across to Deckers. Deckers trying to drive towards the net. Stopped there by the Rochester player. Now back out through center. Regroup from Pugh, trying to connect with Brennick. Off the mark. Now loose puck right here in front of us. Walsh in pursuit. Rochester gets it freed out to center. Back into the TC zone on the left side. Pass blocked there, but kept alive inside the TC zone by Rochester. Pugh will collect it back behind Samora. And now Brennick floats one out to center ice. Regroup back inside the Rochester zone. Long pass up the middle. Breaking free into the TC zone. Pulls across. Save made by Samora. Backhand move by the Rochester player. Samora made the stretch and completes the save. Brennick sent it down 200 feet. We'll have an icing call as Rochester tilting the ice in their favor with 1:54 left to go in the second period. Face off to the right of Samora. Masiello, Wiedemeyer. Wiedemeyer working into the Rochester zone. Choffick chase the other winger. Wiedemeyer working it out of the corner. Along the far side board, Masiello. Backhand's going to Wiedemeyer. Wiedemeyer finds some room on the right side. Shot fired. Save made by Rochester goaltender and held for the whistle. Masiello will take the face-off here to the left of the Rochester netminder. Choffick's chase, Wiedemeyer on the wings. Rochester with the face-off win. Huang and Egan back on the blue line. Huang unable to hold that. Masiello dumps a Rochester player right at the blue line. Now trapped up in the near side corner, right out front. Picked off there by Team Colorado. Choffick's chase connects with Masiello into the Rochester zone, trying to cut towards the middle. Turns and fires. Choffick's chase had the deflection. Rochester goaltender sprawling to make that save. Now in the near side corner, penalty coming for Team Colorado as Wiedemeyer will get the gate, pleading her case to the man in stripes. No success. She'll rest for 90 seconds, and that'll put Rochester back on the power play. Roughing is the call with 51.1 seconds left in the second period. Kelly, Visa, Sherman, and Rieken for Team Colorado on the penalty kill. Face-off win there by Kelly. Back to Visa. Visa trying to clear that out to center, kept alive by Rochester. Back up top, they'll send it over to the right side point. Down low, on the wing, back up top once more. Fed over to the far side. Now out of the corner. Good puck movement by Rochester. In the right side point, shot fired, save made by Samora. Sherman trying to poke that one free. Rochester. Rieken now trying to pinch that off back behind Samora. Pass across, just 10 seconds left in the second period. A pass out to the middle. Deflected enough there. Samora trying to trap that one up, but puck squirts free back behind the goal line. Rochester now with a last-minute threat, but that'll do it for the second period. Rochester will take a 2-0 lead into the third. We'll pause for an ice make and be back to finish this game.
Yeah, this quality is better than actually I'm connected to my phone. So
Yeah.
this quality is way better than the other rinks.
Huh. Nice rink. Shooting and
Yeah.
service. Great service. Shooting.
Yeah. Direct correlation.
Exactly. Now that my hearing's gone.
Yeah. Well, I lost part of my hearing at that game yesterday morning. That guy
Oh, yeah.
coaching from the state.
The good old LA Lions guy. Yeah. Every year. Every year.
I loved his enthusiasm, and I also loved that he only yelled positive things.
Yeah.
He wasn't yelling at the refs. He wasn't telling anyone off, but still too loud.
Yeah, but still it's like, damn.
I had a headache yesterday. I'm like, I'm gonna need that guy to pipe down. It's hurting.
Can you go like way outside? All right, we're back and ready for the start of the third period. Samora making her way down between the pipes to our left. 39 seconds on the clock, a penalty time for Team Colorado to kill. Kelly and Brennick, along with Riedlinger and Pugh, to start the third on the penalty kill. Rochester with the face-off win to open the third frame. Pugh, nice block on the pass there. Connects with Brennick inside the zone, racing for it. Rochester will get there first. Moving out through center, good stick there from Kelly, breaks up that advance. Rochester collects it back, moving into the TC zone, cutting through. Pugh breaks up that clock play there now across, over to the right side. Rochester with control back behind the net, stripped there by Kelly. She'll chip it down the length of the ice. Icing waved off, ruled deflected off a Rochester player. Team Colorado back to full strength. And Wiedmeyer right out of the box, picks up that pass attempt, shot in on net, and a save made by the Rochester goaltender. Try to get through that sliver of glass there to show that. Good read there by Wiedmeyer right out of the box. Picks off the long pass, gets a shot on net here to open the third frame. Face off to the left of the Rochester goaltender. Rochester will take possession, moving up the far side board. Now out to center, Riedlinger backs it up to Pugh. Pugh goes looking for Masiello out at center. That floats in on the Rochester goaltender, and she'll cover up for the whistle. Masiello with Wiedmeyer and Sherman. Face off to the right of the Rochester goaltender. Tied up, Rochester will take possession of that face off. Trapped up in the corner. Pugh with the long shot. High over the net. Sherman collects it over the far side board for Masiello, digging for it in the corner. Gets some help from Wiedenmeyer. Now Rochester trying to scoop the loose puck there. Taken by Wiedenmeyer from the high slot. Looking for Masiello. Couldn't quite connect on that pass. Rochester plays out to center. Mainwaring picks off the clearing attempt. Trying to get back into the TC zone. Pugh will chip down deep into Rochester's zone. Mainwaring in pursuit on the forecheck. Has it tied up on the inboards. Pugh trying to slide across to keep that alive inside the zone. Egan will collect it back in the TC end. Kept alive by Rochester. Back behind the net, Egan takes a little bit of a shove off the puck. Walsh blows a tire back behind the net. Choptic's Chase trying to collect it. And now Rochester holds the line, working across here to the near side, back up top. Sent down low. Picked up by Pugh here in the near side corner. Get some help from Walsh. Short pass chipped up to Mainwaring here on the sideboard. Battling for it. Rochester will come away with it from behind the TC net. Now Rochester from the right side. Knocked down with a high stick. Rochester touches up first. No call on that one. Now pass sent across to Mainwaring. Too hot to handle. Rochester gets it punched back down into the TC zone. Pugh, good pass up to Choptic's Chase. Short connection to Kelly. Rochester turns that right back into the TC zone. Good stick there by Kelly, breaking up that advance. Now Brennick trying to clear it out to center. Egan gets dumped right here on the sideboard. Quick little shot, hits the outside of the net. Now back on front. Good tie up there. Now Brennick, good stick, pokes that free. 2-on-1. Brennick and Deckers back into the Rochester zone. Brennick across the Deckers. Shot! What a save made by the Rochester goaltender. Brennick with a pass across and a one-timer from Deckers. Rochester goaltender got just a piece of the glove on that and pushed the net off its peg for a stoppage in play. That's a damn nice shot from Warren. Where'd that come from? Face off to the right of the Rochester goaltender. Kelly, Brennick, and Deckers up front. Lisa and Rican on the back end. Rochester trying to clear here on the near side. Stopped up there by Brennick. Rochester now working it over to the far side, still trying to clear the zone. They'll get it out to center. Rican looking for some room. Fans on the passage, and Rochester will take advantage and dump that back down into the TC zone. Visa trying to pinch that off in the corner. Get some help from Masiello. Masiello and Visa working that puck in the corner now. Sent back behind. Rican will collect it here in the near side corner. Rican trying to create some space. Moves it out to center for Deckers. She'll backhand a dump in into the Rochester zone. That floats in on the Junior Americans goaltender, and she'll hold on for the whistle. Face-off will be in the Rochester end to the right of their goaltender, Masiello, Sangchong, Pupin, and Choi for Team Colorado. Egan and Huang on the back end into the corner. Rochester comes away with it. Masiello picks up off a pass out at center ice. Turns it back up the strong side. Trying to move it past that last Rochester player, unsuccessful. Rochester now back into the TC zone. Over on the far side. Back up top to the right side point. Pass sent across. A high shot knocked down out front. Now into the near side corner. Rochester with control from the sneaking in off the point. A quick shot in on some more and a save made. Now Rochester with possession over here on the near side. Egan comes away with it on the move into the Rochester end. 1-on-1. Settles for the shot. Save made. Pushed off over to the far side. Kept in by Huang. Now a long pass for Rochester. They get it up to center. TC on the change, giving them some room. Rochester also changing for some fresh legs. They'll move it back into the TC zone. Walsh scoops it up for Team Colorado, back behind Samora. Wong also needs to lend a hand on that. Pass picked off by Rochester. Now Walsh couldn't quite get a handle on that. Rochester still trying to tie up the play. Here on the near side, Rochester with control. Back up top of the right side point. Long shot in on Samora. Loose puck right out front. Cleared by Walsh. And chipped out to center. Rochester running the table right now in the TC zone. Now, quick 2-on-1 here. Wiedmeyer and Sherman. Pass across to Sherman. Shot fired wide. Wiedmeyer picks it up over to the near side. Leaves it for Walsh. Shot from Riedlinger. And Sherman was absolutely dumped out front, just to the side of the Rochester goaltender. And that'll take Rochester to the box. Another power play opportunity for Team Colorado coming up here in the 8, with 8:27 left to go in the third period. Interference the call. 90 seconds in the sin bin, and a chance for TC to get on the board. Face off to the right of the Rochester goaltender, one back to Visa. Visa with patience across to Pugh, back to Visa. Looking for the shooting lane, fires one on net, looking for the deflection from Kelly. It was tipped wide. Kelly, Walsh, and Pugh digging for it. Walsh comes away with it, trying to feed a pass out to Chopfix Chase, just a little off the mark, and it'll float back down into the TC zone. Pass across to Chopfix Chase. Working back through center into the Rochester zone here on the near side. Back behind the net. Drop for Kelly. Back up for Pugh on the left side. Pugh mishandles it a bit. And Rochester will get it cleared out to center. 40 seconds remaining in the power play for Team Colorado. Visa getting pressure from the PK. Sends it across to Chopfix Chase with some room. Moves it to Kelly. Couldn't quite get a shot off. Dumped on the play. Rochester recovers. The long pass gets behind Visa. Breakaway for Rochester. Fire save made by Samora. Back here into the near side corner. Tied up. Visa digging away for it. Gets some help from Pugh. Now Pugh holds on. Waits for TC to set up. Visa picks it up. Long pass across to Chopfix Chase. Showing in the right, red line. Rochester back to full strength. And a hand pass ruled right here in front of the timekeeper's box for a stoppage in play. .6:52 left to go here in the third period. Rochester still with a 2-0 lead over Team Colorado. Masiello, Brennick, and Deckers. Riedlinger and Huang. Deckers trying to turn that back to center. Rochester punches it into the TC zone. Masiello over on the far side, chipping it out to center. Almost picked off there by Brennick. Rochester moving back into the TC zone. Back behind the net. Huang stopped up in the corner, getting some help from Masiello. Rochester frees it. Pass up for Rochester. Holding down here in the near side corner. Brennick digging away for it, gets some help from Riedlinger. Rochester frees it now from the left side, looking for the shot, broken up there. And Brennick chips it out to center. Rochester will turn it right back into the TC zone. They'll dump it down deep. Huang will collect it in the far side corner. All picked up by Egan across to Riedlinger. Up to Deckers. Deckers stops short just in front of the Rochester bench. TC going for the change. Brennick alone forecheck right on the play. Taken there by Rochester. Banking it off the boards. Egan couldn't quite keep that alive inside the Rochester zone. Rochester frees the puck out at center. Working back into the TC zone. They'll dump it and go for one-person change. Rieken trying to move it up to Sangchon Klupin. Now tied up down here in the near side corner. Kelly Quick pass up to Sunshine Poopin, kept in there by Rochester. Rochester still maintaining the TC zone now. Shot from the high slot, high over the glass. Rochester plays the rebound. Pushed out there by Egan. Now once more, Rochester looking for that centering pass, blocked by traffic out front. Now from the sharp angle, quick shot, goes wide. Rochester recovers over in the far side board. Back down deep, Regan collects it for Team Colorado, sends it across to Egan. TC trapped up in their own zone. Once more, Rochester keeping it alive. Now pass out in the middle. Shot hit the outside of the net. Sunshine Poopin couldn't get that past the Rochester defender. Team Colorado, all kinds of trouble getting out of their own zone with it tied up here on the near side board. Now Egan scoops it up, and she'll send it off the glass down the length of the ice. And icing waved off. Rochester collects it back in their own end. Chopwick's Chase trying to trap that up in front of the net. And now Walsh collects it back inside the TC zone. Visa pitched off over on that far side board. Walsh recovers, sends it across to Visa. Visa now out of the far side corner, pushes it up to Chopwick's Chase. Chopwick's Chase has the puck stripped now. Short opportunity, and a save made there by Samora on the quick shot from Rochester. Mainwaring with it now near the near side corner, moves it back to Visa. Across to Regan, up to Chopwick's Chase. Now to Walsh, up to Mainwaring. Mainwaring coming into the Rochester zone on the right side, fires a shot, hits the Rochester player right back on her stick. Mainwaring trying to collect it in the corner, gets taken out of the play, trying to throw one out front. Walsh trying to get that trapped up back behind the net. Now Q with it on the far side board. Walsh trying to trap it up. Rochester gets free. On the move back into the TC zone. Forced to the outside. They'll take it back behind the TC net. Good cycle there for Rochester. Visa moves it across to Pugh. Pugh will have to back it up to Visa over the far side. Now Visa forced back below the TC goal line once more. This time completely pinched off the play there. Rochester will take possession back up to the right side point. Fires a shot wide. And now Rochester trying to keep control inside the TC zone. They'll hold the line. Mainwaring digging for it, couldn't free it from the Rochester player. No shot sent high over the net. Chopwick's Chase stripping the puck over the far side board. Rochester cutting out towards the middle, gets a shot off, deflected just wide. Mainwaring with the steal. Can't clear. Actually does. Hops over the Rochester defender's stick. TC going for the wholesale change. Plenty of room for Rochester on the breakout. Long pass up the near side. Pugh forcing that play to the outside. Rochester change of places. Wiedemeyer puts a body into the Rochester player. Takes back control of the puck. Can't make it through traffic. 1 minute 30 seconds remaining here in the game. Sherman short pass to Wiedemeyer. Moves it to Masiello. Back into the Rochester zone. Masiello cutting towards the front. Can't get a shot off. Now Rochester trying to clear it out the far side. They'll move back into the TC zone. Riedlinger will collect it back behind some more. Sends it up, back up the strong side for Sherman. Sherman's pass picked off. She'll collect it once more. Pass across to Riedlinger. Quick up to Wiedemeyer, just out of reach. Wiedemeyer collects it, now pushing into the Rochester zone. She'll dump it down deep. Rochester will collect it back below their goal line. 45 seconds remaining in the third. Kelly putting in the work in the corner. Rochester connecting passes out to center. They'll dump it down into the TC zone. Extra attacker out for Team Colorado. Rochester pinning it up in the TC end. Now out up top, shot blocked there. Deflecting over to the far side corner. Long battling for it. Moves it up to Chopwick's Chase. Couldn't quite keep a handle on that one. Stopped short. Looking for Brennick. Brennick offside on the play. 9.9 seconds left to go here in the game. Faceoff will be just outside the Rochester zone. Kelly, Brennick, Walsh, Chaffetz, Chase, Riedlinger, and Huang. Faceoff back to Riedlinger. She'll send it down in on the Rochester goaltender. Stick the side into the corner. And that'll do it. Rochester blanks Team Colorado by a score of 2-0. TC will head back to Colorado 1-3 on the weekend here at the Detroit Motor City Girls Fest. Next stop for Team Colorado is Maryland, the JWHL tournament. I'll pass off the broadcasting duties to our partner in crime, DK. Back on the mic. Valentine's Day weekend nonetheless.
And DK, if you're listening, apparently the dress code is tights and a cape. So that's been requested by the coaches.
Mandatory, I hear,
Yeah.
right? Thanks for joining us all weekend. We'll see you in Maryland.
Thanks for doing that, Doug.
You're welcome. I hate this room. I just absolutely hate this room. What can you do?